Coming up on Minnesota Vikings Now is my latest 7-round mock draft for the Vikings. And if you want more draft videos, perhaps a mock draft with trades, then share this video right now. That way I can show the bosses, see, people do want this. This is what you guys care about with less than a month till the draft. So share it for me, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, text, whatever. Share this video right now. It's 7-round mock draft time here for the Minnesota Vikings. No trades in this one, although I did think about making some trades. So we're keeping all of the picks. First up, before we get to the pick for the Minnesota Vikings, the players who were off the board, of course. Aiden Hutchinson went number 1 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Willis goes number 2. This is the draft sim I use, by the way, Pro Football Network, so there's some weird stuff. Welcome to Life in the Draft. Kayvon Thibodeau, Kyle Hamilton, Evan Neal, Ika Mikwanu, Trayvon Walker, Jermaine Johnson, Charles Cross. Sauce Gardner goes number 10, and Garrett Wilson, number 11. So for me, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Give me Derek Stingley, the LSU corner, round 1, number 12 overall. Stingley has all the traits, and he's shown that he can be a number 1 corner in the past. The reason why a guy that many thought would be a top 3 pick entering this year's class is on the board at 12, and that is a very realistic outcome, is that he has not played much football the past 2 years. Also, he's a bad tackler, but whatever. Who cares about being a bad tackler? Stingley, as a true freshman, against the best level of competition in college football, was awesome in 2019. 36.9% completion rate allowed, 608 yards, 6 interceptions, quarterback rating was super low. He had awesome ball skills, awesome athlete. He's not the biggest guy. He is a little bit more undersized. There are foot injuries, ankle issues, injury red flags. Freddie might want a big brother, which would be Patrick Peterson. That would be perfect for him there. But the upside is this is a top 5 corner in the NFL. You take that guy at number 12 as long as you trust the player and the medical. Others who were on the board, Jordan Davis, Tyler Linderbaum, Kenny Pickett, Trevor Penning, George Karlaftis, all of the other corners not named Derek Stingley, but Stingley's there at 12, I'd be all for it. So who do you guys want to draft in round 1? Is it Stingley? I don't think Gardner's going to be there. I think Sauce is gone. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know who you want to take in round 1 of the NFL Draft. Let's go to round 2. The previous 5 picks, all some notable guys who were gone. Tyler Smith, Bernard Raymond, bookends there, 45-41, potential tackle guard options. Devontae Wyatt, a defensive tackle who I like a lot, I think could go top 24, falls to 44. David Ajabo, off the board. Desmond Ridder is gone. I would have thought about Ajabo had he been there. Some other players who were on the board that I passed on, had the Vikings not added another edge rusher in Zadarius Smith, I very well might have taken Boye Mafe. I'll pass on him. Trey McBride, Jalen Petrie, Ed Ingram, Marvin Leal. I'm instead going to double dip at corner. Give me Roger McCreary, one of my guys this year, who I loved his film at Auburn. Film-wise, he is a top 5 corner for me in this year's class. That's how impressive it was. Now, he's going to get dinged because he got sub 29.5-inch arms. That is not going to meet thresholds that do exist for NFL teams. But he's fluid, and he is sticky as hell in coverage. Troy Hill, Byron Murphy comps for me here. And his coverage numbers this past year were friggin' awesome. Again, SEC competition. Go watch the Bama game. He was awesome in that contest. I was super impressed against that level of competition. Allowed barely 45% completion rate, 442 yards, 14 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. The arm length isn't there. Not a true top-end burner. I had that written down in my notes. And then he tested like just an okay athlete, 4.5 40. But he can be your nickel corner. You double dip with Stingley and McCreary at your number 1 position of need. Boom, I fixed the cornerback spot for Minnesota. So what do you guys think? Should the Vikings double dip at corner? Type in Y for yes or type in N for no. Let me know in the comments section right now. We've also got Vikings draft hats on sale for you guys. The official NFL hats for this year's draft class are out, and you can buy yours today at chatsports.com/Vikings draft hat. This style looks awesome. The black back, yellow font on top of the purple font. This works. These are some of the best hats of an otherwise not the best grouping this year. Chatsports.com/Vikings draft will take you right in to the Fanatic sale. Let's go to the third round. Notable picks off the board. Nicholas Petit-Frere is gone. Fidarian Mathis. Christian Watson. Thought about Nick Bonito, number 66. He gone. Leo Chenal, also gone if you wanted to go linebacker at Wisconsin. Some other guys who were on the board who I did not end up taking. There were some edges who were there. Cameron Thomas, Myjai Sanders. I would take them if I didn't trust that Hunter would get a long-term deal, but I don't want number 3 edge in top 75. That's a bit too rich for me. Quay Walker, if you want linebacker help. Greg Dulcich out of UCLA could be a decent tight end fit. John Mechie if you really want a receiver. But instead, I'm going safety. Kerby Joseph out of Illinois. He has the length that NFL teams love. And he's coming off a massive breakout season after, not doing that much earlier in his career. I see split safety value kind of rotating between deep and middle, or deep and strong, which is what the Vikings, I think, will use in the Ed Donatel style. Tracy Walker comp, for those of you who have watched him closely with the Detroit Lions for me. Long arms, 2 pass breakups, 5 interceptions. I don't think he has elite top-end range, but I think his range is good enough to play some deep safety. Good tackler, special teams value. Didn't do the full array of testing at the combine, so those numbers are a bit unclear. But look, he made a lot of plays in the football this year. 5 interceptions and barely got beat in coverage. That's awesome. I love him as a third-round pick for a team. Now, if you want nonstop Vikings draft coverage all the way through round 1, and for every pick the Vikings make, we'll do draft grades for you as well. Hit that big red button and subscribe. YouTube.com/Vikings today if you want the best Vikings coverage out there. All right, day 3 will go quicker here because there's a lot of day 3 picks. Let's get a tight end in this room to be insurance in case Irv Smith's not the guy. Jelani Woods, a breakout season in every sense of the word at Virginia. He had, in his career at Oklahoma State before he transferred, 31 catches, 361 yards, 4 touchdowns. He exceeded that in 1 year with Virginia. 44 catches, 598 through the air, and 8 touchdowns. He was a much better football player once he got to be thrown the football for Virginia. Now, he's got some drop issues. Those exist still. The blocking technique is raw. He is a very weird build, freak athlete, by the way. But he's 6'7", 253. That is super tall, and he's very leggy, by the way. So for me, it's kind of like watching a giraffe out there on the field. Like, sometimes it works really well. It's also like, that looks weird. But he's a great athlete, a long strider. I mean the giraffe comparison in a compliment, by the way. It's kind of like there's a giraffe loose on the football field. Who knows what's going to happen? Could be good, could be bad, and normally ends up being pretty good for Woods. So round 5, I love the value. Let's go to the next pick here for the Minnesota Vikings, number 184 overall here. I'm going to get some interior offensive line help. This is an early 6th-round pick. Dohnovan West, who I think is a great scheme fit for what the Vikings want to do with the new regime change. West is a decent athlete, bit undersized, underpowered. He's young, too, 21 years old. I think that fits what the new front office regime wants with Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. I got a 4th-ish round grade on him, maybe low 4s, but good value there. Didn't get beat that much this past year at Arizona State. There are power concerns, which I know might trigger some of you guys after watching Garrett Bradbury play these past couple years. Not everyone loves him. I like him. I think he'd be a good day 3 target for Minnesota. He can play center or guard, probably center most likely in the NFL. So what do you guys think is the Vikings' biggest need? I think it's corner by a pretty massive margin, but I want to hear from you guys as well. Let me know in the comments section. The Vikings' biggest need entering the 2022 NFL Draft. Let's go upside again here. Number 191, Amare Barno, the edge rusher from Virginia Tech. kind of a lanky, long player who his best trait is speed. 4.36 40, the fastest 40-yard dash time in ever for an edge rusher prospect. Despite that, only 3.5 sacks this past year. And that's a bit of a, I think he fits as a more of a 3-4 edge. He's got better straight line speed than kind of agility there. He's got a leggy frame. You can kind of see it from the profile picture, right there on your screen. Got those long arms down by his knees, even though he's barely bent over. And he's got a thin frame, a lot of just lankiness to him. Does impact his bend a little bit, but he's got coverage talent on special teams and upside to do more than that. That is a perfect late day 3 pick. Back-to-back picks here, by the way, for the Minnesota Vikings. The first one was from Baltimore in a trade. Velus Jones Jr., he's got speed, and most importantly, special teams value. And he was mainly a slot for Tennessee this past year. 51 of his 62 catches came in that area, but he's got kick return value, punt return value, and gunner value. That alone should get him drafted. Plus, he had a really great testing and a fast 40, and that does matter for NFL teams. I am concerned that his best year by a massive margin this past year for Tennessee came when he was I think it was a sixth year. I don't know my notes. 6-year collegiate player. He's already 25 years old. That's a late breakout, but special teams-wise, there's value. And finally, Jeremiah Gamel, the linebacker out of North Carolina. Weak side linebacker fit, not the biggest guy. I think a pretty good athlete. Praised for his leadership characteristics. That is a big-time positive thing there for North Carolina. 73 tackles this past year. He is undersized and all the flaws that go into that. Didn't play that much on special teams. That is a big reason why he might slide to the back end of round 7. So grade this mock draft for me. A, B, C, D, or F. I think I nailed it. Of course I do. That's why I want to hear from you guys. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade this Vikings mock draft for me. In case you weren't paying attention, the picks I made. I double-dip at corners. 2 great SEC prospects, Derek Stingley and Roger McCreary. I also then triple-dip in the secondary. Kerby Joseph as another safety option long-term for this team, with or opposite. Or in place of, maybe down the road, Harrison Smith. Jelani Woods, tight end, Virginia, 5th round. Love that value. Dohnovan West, Amare Barno, promising upside athletes. West is super young, fits what I think Kwesi Adofo-Mensah likes. Velus Jones, special teamer. And then Jeremiah Jamel, the 7th round pick, linebacker, UNC, to round things out for my latest Vikings mock draft.